Alright. Alright, I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm going to say it. I figured out what happened on 9/11. Okay, I'm going to be ultra serious. I'm not going to make any jokes. I'm serious. I believe I figured out what happened on 9/11. It was a thought I had on my own, and I realize other people have been saying this too, but it definitely doesn't jump out at you in the tags. I've been watching 9/11 conspiracy videos for years, and never saw one about this. But they do exist. They just use different terms to describe it. You know, you got the official story people, the Patriots, and then you got the demolitions people. And I can't believe it took me this long to realize on my own. I'm glad I did think of it on my own. But the one thing about the demolition theory is just getting past this conspiracy, which, you know, it's conspiracy to think that 3 buildings are loaded with what had to be 3,000 bombs, if what they're saying with the thermite, you know, charges being placed in the walls on the uprights. Yeah, that would... Still, that's just too many people to be in on it. The precision just still doesn't work, and what really doesn't work is the fact that there's almost nothing at the bottom of that pile of building when it's done. We're talking about 3 buildings, if you stack them on top of each other, would reach almost a mile. Almost a mile. Well, basically, I think you're getting at about 1 kilometer of solid steel. 267 stories of state-of-the-art, when they're built, you know, taking airplanes into consideration, architecture. Laying in a pile of rubble in their own footprints of only a story high. I mean, why doesn't that occur to anybody? Those buildings were disintegrated. Disintegrated. And the term that I'm applying to it is waveform harmonium. Assimilation, amplification. Nikola Tesla, over 100 years ago, figured out that all substances have kind of a wavelength footprint. If you hit something with a hammer, you can get a wavelength out of it, a resonation. Well, he figured out that if you get that down exactly, you loop it, project it back into the substance, and amplify it, it starts to shake like crazy to the point of busting, disintegrating. They caught him doing it. Like, he was so, you know, out there that the cops and the feds were, you know, watching him like hawks. So if they saw him do something really weird, they would come right in on him. The cops were on him in moments. And something went wrong with the machine. And he was beating it with some blunt piece of his laboratory to break it, to make it stop. That's what happened on 9/11. At least to the buildings in New York. I don't know exactly how they did it, of course. They could have done it from space. They might have done it from another dimension. I don't know. The little green men might have done it. It's either super advanced human technology or technology from somewhere else. But it's, you know, it's electromagnetism down to the disrupting the molecular structure of things, which means that's why they don't care. They're not afraid of being caught, because they can incinerate anybody who stands up in opposition. And you watch the movie The Watchmen about the superheroes, that last scene where Dr. Manhattan blows up Rorschach. Same thing. He just looks at Rorschach, intuitively somehow recognizes his physical composition, blows it up. Probably with a shot of microwaves out of his eyes. Watch the 9/11 footage. Those buildings hit the ground, it's just dust. Dust everywhere. Not to mention the fried cars. I'm not trying to steal anyone's thunder. I realize Dr. Judy Wood has been onto this for years. But it's a little freaky she's the only one. And how calmly she talks about it. I mean, I'm to the point where, I don't believe any of the other ones. My gut instinct when I first saw Richard Gage was, that's a fraud. I mean, I've been catching so many of these people lying. I'm getting pretty good at it, right? So are you, I'm sure. Richard Gage, I've always just gone by this idea that anyone who really nails the government on something, the government doesn't want that. I'm not going to let them live. I saw Michael Moore in person in 2002. And that's what got the ball rolling with me. He walks out there in that ripped up hat and just nonsense outfit that he would wear to come off as if he's one of us. They always go just a little too far. Like those people on the street on 9/11 that the news crews were going to get their reactions and stuff. How they were just a little bit loquacious, I mean, just how the things that they were saying just seemed like real rushed scripting being spit at the news person. They were just a little too informed. You get that from pretty much everybody that's on television, no matter what it is. If it's on television, it's a lie. If it's a guest brought on to give their opposing opinion, or if they're trying to, bring all the different points of view into play in some four-way crosstalk on RT or on Hannity, O'Reilly, or those horrible Alex Jones, it's whoever it is lying. They're an actor. I mean, that this is all bullshit. All of it. Is it really all bullshit? Those buildings were disintegrated. And I believe it was with technology that Nikola Tesla was coming up with or discovered from way back with the Egyptians, How did they move 200-ton rocks to make the Valley Temple and Great Pyramid, No, they didn't drag them with ropes and put them on barges on the Nile. They figured out a way to make those things float. Whoever it was. Same kind of thing, just messing with the laws of physics with a machine. I never see anyone talk about this. And I really believe if people watch really close, and if people around the world had a consensus, a real common sense consensus, based on what I'm saying, when you watch, those buildings didn't hit the ground with any kind of earthquake magnitude. There's hardly any rubble in comparison to what was there before. How straight down they fell, and really, if you independently investigate any of the people that they say died, you will not find that person's existence. I made my joke videos about Alex Jones. I actually did try to figure out if he was a real person. Yeah, no. He didn't go to the high school that he says he went to. And so what, and so what, and so what? Barack Obama did not go to Columbia College. He didn't. He just didn't. He maybe went to Harvard. Barack Obama might be Osama bin Laden. I mean, he might be, really. But that's stupid. That's just so stupid to even talk about. His birth certificate's his forgery, all that kind of stuff, but still, so what? You don't have any real... 9/11 was just the impetus of going across the world and slaughtering people. There's a chance that maybe nobody died on 9/11 except by accident. There might not have been anybody in the buildings. And I know that's going too far, but really, the buildings didn't fall because there was a quarter mile of steel. It didn't fall because of the planes. It didn't fall because of demolition bombs. It would still be that much debris hitting the ground, and that's not what happened. Watch it again. And please, figure out a way to talk to one another. And let's get a solution together to go get these people.